Hola clase otra vez. This is your last set of notes for Unit 1B. We need to talk about comparatives and superlatives. You guys have your vocab note cards to study all of this information. You guys now have your reasons to use a star and your notes over the present progressive, including special present participle rules to say what someone is doing. And now we are going to talk about comparatives and superlatives. We are going to first start with super superlatives. Why do I call them super superlatives? Because they're used to say that something or someone is extremely, or what we will always say in here, super. You guys don't have to make that ugly circle on your notes. Good, bad, interesting, or whatever you may have. So, how do we do this? There are a few steps. You take your adjective, whatever your adjective may be. If it ends in a vowel, you drop it. So if it ends in a consonant, you leave it and you move on to the next step. You add isimo, isima, isimos, or isimas. Why are there four forms? Well, because we need to have a singular masculine, a singular feminine, a plural masculine, and a plural feminine form to match whatever we're talking about. So, if I said Ana es altísima, what am I saying? Go ahead and write down your best guess here. To back it up, I would take off the isima and I'd add the O back to find out what I am saying. Of course, with our notes, we always include examples, so please write down this sentence in English. That girl is super angry. If you're feeling good, please attempt that sentence in Spanish. Remember, this and these have T's, that and those don't. Look at your book cover to find that word if you want. Girl, remember there are a bunch of different ways to say girl. I always go with a short version, but whatever version you use, make sure you spell it correctly. Is. Ooh, anytime you use is or are, you have to ask yourself ser or a star. So if you're going to say super angry, ask yourself if that reason fits a reason for ser, if it fits a reason for a star. And then take your adjective for angry, drop the vowel if it ends in one, and add isimo, isima, isimos, or isimas, of course with an accent on that I before the S, and make sure whichever one you choose matches girl. One more example sentence. The boys are super bored. Go through those same steps again and attempt that sentence, or you will attempt it with your partner in class. Once you have all of this down in your notes, you can move on, press pause if you need more time to write. I'm moving on to comparatives. There we go, comparatives. We have two types of comparatives or comparisons. A comparison of equality, when referring to actions or qualities, characteristics, is used to say someone or something is as blank as. In Spanish, there is a formula essentially for saying that. Here is that formula. You should write it like this in your notes, going straight across. I've got your subject in parentheses because you guys know that sometimes in sentences you can leave a subject out. Your verb, which of course is conjugated for your subject. Then you need this word here, tan, tan. Then it's going to be followed by your adjective or adverb, but we're more focused on adjectives, plus como, plus whatever you're comparing this person to. To say as blank as in Spanish, we say tan blank como. As blank as, tan blank como. One thing that gives people some trouble is in English, these two words are the same as each other, and in Spanish, they're two different words. You guys don't have to put those ugly circles on your notes. So let's write down an example. This girl is as surprised as that girl. Please write that English sentence in your notes. Leave a line to try it in Spanish, and of course a skipped line after that. I think you guys should try this on your own. Otherwise, we will definitely be trying it together in class. It uses vocab and things that you should know how to say. Do we have one more example sentence? Of course we do. Anna argues as frequently as Dora. I realize you guys might not know how to say frequently, but to argue is one of our vocab words from Unit 1A, and you should definitely know how to say the as blank as part. So you have, of course, skipped 2 blank lines after this one, unless you were trying the Spanish out, and then it's just 1 blank line. You've written this in your notes, and you're including 2 blank lines after that, or you're trying it in Spanish, and then just 1 blank line. So this is a summary of comparisons of equality to say someone is as blank as someone else, as surprised as, or does something as frequently as someone else. As blank as is tan blank como. Well, you guys also need to know how to give comparisons of inequality. So, you guys don't have to rewrite that, you already have it. To give a comparison of inequality when referring to actions or qualities or characteristics, which means to say someone or something is blanker than someone else, is smarter, is taller, is cuter. Of course, sometimes we just have to say more because we don't have a word like intelligenter. We say more intelligent than, and this is how we would say this in Spanish. Remember, the things I put in parentheses are optional, but you should write them down in your notes. Speaking of that, I can put parentheses around, that's supposed to be a parenthesis, around the subject, because if context has already given it away, we can leave that out. Subject plus your verb conjugated for your subject plus más. We might use menos if we want to say someone is less smart than someone else, but usually we phrase it with más. And then you might have an adverb or an adjective, que, plus whoever you're comparing it to. So to say someone or something is blanker than, it's usually más que. Blanker than, more blank than, más que. Más, adjective, que. You guys should include that you should beware of irregulars. We're not going to get them to them today, but we'll probably add them in your notes later. There are 4 adjectives that don't follow the rules for this, but let's focus on the ones that do. Here we have an example sentence. Ana discute más frecuentemente que Dora. I've given you the Spanish for once and would like you to translate it to English here. So please translate it to English and skip a line before the next one. This is a comparison of inequality. Más que means more than, or in English, sometimes blanker than. Like in this sentence, this girl is shorter than that girl. In Spanish, there is no way to add er onto the end of a word, so they say more short. So underneath that sentence, write your best attempt, or if you're not ready for it, leave it blank to say that this girl is shorter than that girl. But really, if you follow the formula, you can't go wrong, so you should really be trying these. I appreciate your effort. All right, guys, this is a review, or I guess a lesson on comparisons of inequality, to say blanker than or more blank than, más blank que. Equality, to say someone or something is as blank as, tan blank como. And superlatives, whenever you use a superlative, you're saying someone is the most something. And in this case, we're saying someone is super something. So you take the adjective, you drop the vowel if it has one, and you add isimo, isima, isimos, or isimas so it matches. Thank you for taking your comparative and superlative notes. And if you have questions, I will answer them in class. Adios.